for the second part of this lesson today, we're going to work on pitch shots, which means we're going to get a little bit higher trajectory, and we're using a situation like so. We have as a training aid, again, we have our alignment sticks, and we also have another circle of tees, and it's about 7 yards onto the green, and we have about another 5 to 6 yards to the pin. So this is going to be a little bit more air time and a little bit less time on the ground as opposed to the chip shots that we were working on earlier. So there's not much difference in this shot as opposed to chip shots. There are a few differences, however. And the first one is club selection. We're going to use a little bit higher lofted club. As for the chip shots, we were using 9 irons pitching wedges. Here we're going to use lob wedges and sand wedges. They have a little bit more loft, and it's going to help us to traject the ball a little bit higher. Also, our setup is going to be just a hair different. The ball is going to move a little bit farther back in our stance, so it's going to be right at our belly button as opposed to right in front. Our hand position is going to be right at our belly button as well as opposed to in front of the ball, and our weight distribution is going to be 50-50 as opposed to more on the front. So the first fundamental we want to talk about is getting yourself properly aligned. Later we're going to touch on green reading and where you want the ball to go, but first you need to get yourself aligned. And on these golf balls, on every single golf ball, there's a great opportunity to align yourself with, and that's the line on the golf ball. So once you get your spot picked out where you want the putt to start, the next step is to properly line that line up with your starting point. That's not, people might say that they don't like that, it's too this or it's too that, but if you just go at it blind, you already have so much room for error and so much room to not be able to start the putt where you want it to. So that's step number one. Step number two, after making sure that is aligned properly and where you want it, is to step over the putt. Now, some key fundamentals in this, and like I said, putting is its own thing. It really depends on the golfer themselves. There's so many different things that you can do differently. Like Dylan, you can do it completely different than Garrett, but still hold the same amount of putts. So, but a few things that we want to keep in mind that you want to try to do is 1, ball position, 2, feet width, like the width of your stance, and then 3, also your eye position over the golf ball. So my feet are about shoulder width inside a little bit. The ball position is a little bit forward in my stance. My eyes are just over the golf ball. For me, I tend to be a little bit inside, but that's okay. You're going to be a little bit one way or the other, most likely. Right over the golf ball, confident stroke. And I left it just short because of the breaking, because it was being uphill. That pace wasn't so awful. So that's what we're going to work on. Let's get in our groups, individual stations, and let's see. Now let's talk about the things that are going to change. The things that are going to change is our ball position. So when we were talking about irons, we were talking about just a little bit in front of forward in our stance. Here we're going to move it all the way to the inside of our front foot. And I'll demonstrate that for you right here. You see how instead of being right in the middle of my stance, I'm moving it all the way up till I like to play the ball a little bit further inside my front foot, but to optimize things, let's start off with it right on the inside of this line. So if we were to put an alignment stick here, it would be right on the inside of our foot. And then another thing that is going to change is like I said, our weight shift. Instead of being over the ball or maybe even a little bit forward, we're going to actually try to tilt our body back. You're going to want to feel like that right shoulder is a lot lower, not a lot lower, but lower than your left shoulder. So what that's going to help us do is hit up at the ball and get it up in the air higher.